Hey guys, welcome to Silicon Valley Girl. I think I am going through the hardest period of my life right now because of this horror that is going on between Russia and Ukraine. But I really want to thank you for letting me post on this channel, just because this is something that keeps me sane. This is something that provides jobs. And this is something where I could ask you to help people affected by war, because we're doing a chat where you can hire people who lost their homes, who lost their families, who lost everything, who had to flee the country and are looking for jobs. The link will be down in the description below. If you're willing to hire, please do it. In this video, I want to share advice from my financial advisor, from people who went through financial crisis, because, well, I want to still continue posting on my favorite topics, which are business and finance. And it doesn't matter whether you have money that you're afraid of losing, or you don't have money and you're in a situation where you're looking for a job and trying to survive. I think learning habits of those people, learning financial rules that those people apply will be really beneficial for everyone, because you start forming systems and rules, how you behave with money, how you behave when crisis hits. Do you buy a lot of toilet paper or you don't buy a lot of toilet paper? So we're going to talk about financial habits that made people millionaires. And please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, to like this video. And if you can employ people, if you can provide jobs, do this and help people displaced by war. Advice number one, reduce your expenses as much as you can. If you were thinking of buying new clothes, don't buy them. If you were thinking of going on a trip, maybe postpone it. The ideal situation at every point of time is that you have at least 6 months of runway, which means that if your income suddenly goes to zero, you have at least 6 months to figure out what you can do and how you can pivot. And this is the rule that I try to apply for both companies and my personal lifestyle. The thing is, as an entrepreneur, I went through several, like every 2 years, something is happening. COVID, now war, and then before that, there were more political events that affected the company. And we're always trying to select the strategy where we don't have to fire everyone, because this is just hard. Parting with people is the hardest. So as a company, as a person, try to reduce your expenses as much as possible so you stay flexible. Like no matter what happens, you stay strong as a team, you have time to pivot, to explore new directions. And yes, when the crisis is too hard, yes, companies have to part ways with people. And yes, selling old stuff might be a good idea to have some cash on hand, but aim for at least 6 months of runway at any time. If you don't have it now, maybe this is a rule that you can follow later. Advice number two, don't let emotions get in your way. Remember how everyone started buying toilet paper during COVID, and there was no toilet paper anywhere in the store, but I think a lot of people found themselves in a situation where they just had too much toilet paper at home. And why did they spend hours chasing the last rolls that grocery stores had? I don't know. What happens now is people start making decisions out of fear, buying a lot of stuff that they don't need, buying stocks or oil futures because they think, oh my God, the oil prices are going up. I don't know, buying tanks of gas. I don't think that making purchases out of fear is a good idea, because even if gas would cost millions of dollars, the amount of gas that you would be able to buy would only last you this long, like maybe a week, I don't know. At times like this, spend more time educating yourself. Watch Ray Dalio's video about what he thinks might happen, changing the world order when dollar is no longer the currency. Calculate whether getting an electric car would make more sense. So the ideal situation is you stop panicking and start strategically planning your future. The next advice comes from my investment advisor, and he said, Marina, stick to your strategy, because it's like, maybe we should stop buying things. Maybe we should sell off. And this is why I hired him. I hired someone to guide me through times like this, when all I want to do is to stop and hide. And again, he repeats the same kind of thing. The inflation rate is 7.5% now. Yes, you can have everything in cash, but then if you want to have $100,000 in cash, that is going to cost you $7,500 a year. Do you want to do that, or do you want to invest in a conservative portfolio that might yield you 3 to 5% this year, but at least the cash is not just being eaten by inflation? So sticking to your strategy and maybe researching some additional strategies might be a good idea, but buying stocks in bulk or selling off your positions might not be the best thing to do right now, especially if you're not an expert. Another piece of advice that I give to everyone who's on social media, but also to everyone in life. 2 things you should do all the time: be consistent and make experiments. So this is what I tell to my YouTubers who take my course. Basically, I've seen so many channels where people do the same thing over and over again. They do it consistently. They don't get too many views, but they don't experiment. This is a road to, it's not a road to nowhere, but it doesn't allow you to grow. This can apply to your lifestyle, this can apply to your career, but basically a lot of us are doing something on a consistent basis, like 9-to-5 job, every day, boring, same thing over and over again. And we're wondering why we're not growing, why we're not getting this promotion. Well, the thing is, you need to experiment. And you can experiment by talking to different people at your job, by trying new products in your business, by trying new types of content and new social media to promote your business. But you have to be consistent. Like, there is one thing that you're doing. For example, I love creating videos. But I love creating them for YouTube, and here I experiment with formats. I have vlogs, I have talking head, I have interviews. I also experiment with platforms. I have my TikTok, Instagram, email. It's always about experimenting, diversification, but staying consistent. And when you start experimenting with business, it is important to experiment with your website. If you've heard of A/B testing, this is when you change things on your website and see whether performance has increased. And I've talked to a lot of product managers, and they say that sometimes changing a color of one button from green to red can bring thousands of extra dollars in revenue. And the sponsor of today's video is Zyro. Zyro is the most affordable and easy to use website builder on the market. You can use their hundreds of designer-made templates and adjust them for your needs with simple drag and drop editing. You can literally build a website in minutes, test out your product, test out your idea. You don't have to have any design skills and much less coding knowledge. Websites and stores built on Zyro are extremely fast, and speed gives users great experience, increases your sales, and helps you rank higher in search. And if you have questions, you can reach out to Zyro 24/7. All Zyro website plans have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you change your mind, you can cancel your subscription and get your money back. And because you're watching this video, you're getting their limited time deal where you get 3 free months with all yearly plans and a custom domain for a year. Use my code Marina or a link in the description below to build your custom website, and build your website now. The next piece of advice: make frameworks for everything. Especially at crisis times, it's really important to have systems. A system of how you track your spendings and your earnings, a system on how you interact with your team, a system how you post on social media. I don't know about you guys, but in my life, everything is turned upside down now. But having a schedule, having a template, having regular things that I have to do just helps me stay sane. Also, whenever things get hard, you need to see them as opportunity. You know, inflation is high. Maybe it is time to consider investing. You know, sometimes when bad things happen, people are like, oh, this is my time to act. I think I've started a lot of things that were kind of out of fear, but I've been thinking about them for a while because I started investing in March 2020 when markets fell down sharply with COVID. And I'm really grateful well, I'm not grateful COVID happened, but I'm grateful that such events can also be seen as opportunity, as an opportunity to start something you've been thinking about, as an opportunity to think, as an opportunity to do what you really wanted, but you thought maybe it's not the right time, maybe I should start later. Another tip of advice is setting priorities. Now, let me show you an example. I have a friend who makes a lot of money, but whenever he travels, he always travels with overlays. So he spends 9 hours on flying instead of spending 3 because he saves $200. And my question to him was like, okay, you're saving $200. How much could have you made if you took the 3-hour flight, which was more expensive, but then you had more time in the location to maybe work on your project, to talk to your team? This is something you should be asking yourself all the time. Okay, I am trying to save money here. I am trying to eat unhealthy. I am, buying this cheap spaghetti instead of cooking something at home. Is this trade-off worth it? Is it leading me to something that will cost even more? Fixing your health is a lot more expensive. In the time of crisis, you're like, oh, I need to be working 24/7. But then you end up with a breakdown. You end up with sleepless nights and you take 2 weeks to recover. Was it worth it? No. And this is where I'm moving to the next piece of advice. Just balance everything, especially when you're stressed out. Make sure you're keeping this balance. Go for a walk. My doctor told me to do 100 squats. I'm super stressed right now. And she also said 100 squats, 10-minute a day meditation. She also gave me some medication, which is over the counter, like melatonin to sleep better at night, and some chamomile, just some herbs to help my system cool down, because I'm this person, whenever something happens, it doesn't matter. I'm too excited, I'm scared, I'm stressed. The system goes over the top when I'm too emotional and I can't sleep, and this affects my productivity. So I'm trying to limit my hours, though I want to work 24/7, try to limit them. It's easier with kids because you have to limit, but just taking care of yourself is so important. And coming from a person who couldn't sleep till 2 a.m. last night because I was so stressed out, after I record this video, I'm just gonna walk around and chill a bit. And the last thing that I wanted to say, at this time when a lot of people are experiencing fear, a lot of people are in crisis and having a hard time in their lives, when people are going through pain, they have a lot of aggression in them, and they need to just pour it out. And the object of aggression can be you, like anyone who surrounds them, it can be you. As a creator, I see it all the time, people hating me for what I think is no reason, but the reason is they are unhappy. And the only way to deal with it, like if this criticism doesn't make sense, if this criticism doesn't reflect what you're doing, if somebody's telling you you're bad, if somebody's telling you you're gonna fail, this is just a reflection of what they think about their lives and themselves. Because they say these things out of fear. It's not like they really think you're gonna fail. They think that if they were you, they would fail. So they're trying to stop you. So the only way to deal with this is with compassion, understanding that this has nothing to do with you, and have compassion for people who are going through hard times. And try to help as much as you can. And by the way, if you're willing to help people displaced by war, I have a form down below where you can hire Ukrainians, but we also have refugees from other countries. So if you're willing to hire them, fill in the form below, and this will be a way of helping out people in crisis. Thank you guys so much for watching this video up to the very end. I hope it was useful, and I hope to see you very soon again on this channel every week, and I'm posting shorts. I hope you're enjoying them. Bye.